Hello students, good morning. Today in this video, I am going to explain you about short answers from structural organization chapter from first year zoology. In that, we are going to discuss about structure of multipolar neuron. It is one of the important 4 marks question for IP examination from structural organization in animals. This is from first year zoology. Okay, structure of multipolar neuron, one of the important 4 marks question. This is from which chapter? Structural organization in animals. Structural organization in animals, one of the important question, that is structure of multipolar neuron. Before that, I will give you some introduction, that is what is nervous tissue. Here nervous tissue is ectodermal in origin. Nervous tissue is ectodermal in origin, and it is made up of with two types of cells. They are neurons and neuroglial cells. Nervous tissue is ectodermal in origin. Nervous tissue is ectodermal in origin, and it is made up of with two types of cells, that is neuron and neuroglial cells. Neuron and neuroglial cells. Okay, nervous tissue is ectodermal in origin. Next, what is neuron? Neuron, otherwise called nerve cells, nadi kanalu. Okay, these neurons are the structural and functional units of the nervous tissue. What are neurons? These are the structural and functional units of the nervous tissue. Okay. Next, these neurons are electrically excitable cells. Okay, these neurons receives and initiate and conduct impulses from one neuron to the another neuron. Impulses means information. Okay, what are neurons? These are the structural and functional units of the nervous tissue. They are derived from ectoderm. Okay, these neurons are electrically excitable cells. These neurons can receive, initiate and conduct impulses from one neuron to the another neuron. Okay, means neurons are impulse conducting cells of the nervous tissue. Impulse conducting cells of the nervous tissue are called neuron. Okay, next, about second type of cells of the nervous tissue, what we call it? Neuroglial cells. Neuroglial cells, these are the second type of cells of the nervous tissue. Okay, here neuroglial cells means these are supporting cells of the nervous tissue, and these are non-impulse conducting cells. They do not conduct impulse. They are called neuroglial cells. These are the supporting cells and non-impulse conducting cells of the nervous tissue. Impulse conducting cells of the nervous tissue are neuron. So in this way, this nervous tissue is made up of with two types of cells. What are those two types of cells? Neurons and neuroglial cells. Neurons and neuroglial cells. What are neurons? Neurons are structural and functional units of the nervous tissue. Okay, and these neurons are electrically excitable cells. They receive, initiate and conduct. Conduct means they transmit impulses. Okay, next, what are neuroglial cells? These are the second type of cells which are present in nervous tissue. They are neuroglial cells. They are the supporting cells or non-impulse conducting cells. Non-impulse conducting cells. They provide microenvironment. These neuroglial cells provide microenvironment for neuronal activity. They provide microenvironment for neuronal activity. Which cells? Neuroglial cells. And these neuroglial cells also nourishes the neurons and also protect the neurons. Okay. Next, this is about the two types of cells of the nervous tissue. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about. Now we are going to discuss about the structure of multipolar neuron. Structure of multipolar neuron. Actually, neuron consists of three parts. Neuron is made up of with how many parts? Three parts. That is cyton, dendrites, and axon. What are the three parts of the neuron? Cyton, dendrites, and axon. Okay. Here, cyton, otherwise called nerve cell body. Cyton, otherwise called nerve cell body. Cyton is the first part of the neuron. It is also called nerve cell body or soma or perikaryon. What are the other names of the cyton? Nerve cell body, soma or perikaryon. Perikaryon. Okay. Now, inside the cyton, cytoplasm is present. Inside the cyton, cytoplasm is present. Cytoplasm of the cyton is also called neuroplasm. Neuroplasm means cytoplasm of the neuron is called neuroplasm. Okay, here cytoplasm of the cyton of the neuron is called neuroplasm. This neuroplasm consists of a large spherical nucleus, nissile body, lipofuscin molecules, and neurofibrils. What are the different structures present in the neuroplasm of the cyton? Large spherical nucleus. This is the large spherical nucleus. All of you look at the diagram. Here, this is the large spherical nucleus, and this is cyton. This is cyton or nerve cell body, soma or perikaryon. At the center of this cyton, a large spherical nucleus is present. A large spherical nucleus is present. It is called large spherical nucleus is present. Next, in the cytoplasm, nissils body, lipofuscin molecules and neurofibrils also present. Nissils molecules, neurofibrils and lipofuscin molecules also present. Okay. Here what are nissile bodies? Nissile bodies are rough and they represent rough endoplasmic reticulum. Nissils body represents rough endoplasmic reticulum. And these nissile bodies are site for protein synthesis. These are the sites for protein synthesis. Mean protein synthesis takes place in nissils bodies. Okay, nissile bodies represent rough endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, and these are sites for protein synthesis. This is about the nissile body which is present in the cytoplasm of the cyton. Okay, next lipofuscin molecules. These are products of cellular. These are the products of cellular wear and tear, means cellular debris which are accumulating in the lysosomes with age. Which are accumulating in the lysosomes with age. Here lipofuscin are products of cellular wear and tear accumulating in lysosomes with age. Here lysosomes acts as suicidal bags in which autolysis of the worn out cells or damaged cells or outdated cells takes place. Okay, here lipofuscin molecules, these are the products of cellular wear and tear accumulating in lysosomes with age. Lysosomes are suicidal bags in which autolysis of the damaged or outdated cells takes place. Okay, and neurofibrils also present in the cytoplasm of the cyton. Okay, once again I will repeat cyton. What is cyton? It is otherwise called nerve cell body or soma or perikaryon. The cytoplasm of the cyton is also called neuroplasm. This neuroplasm consists of a centrally located large spherical nucleus. And cytoplasm also consists of nissils body, and lipofuscin molecules, neurofibrils. Okay, these Nissel's bodies are rough endoplasmic reticulum, represents rough endoplasmic reticulum, and these are the sites for protein synthesis. Lipofuscin, these are the products of cellular wear and tear accumulating in lysosomes with age. Okay, with that explanation of cyton is completed. Next, coming to dendrites. Next, coming to dendrites. What are dendrites? Dendrites are numerous, short, branched processes. Dendrites are numerous, short, branched processes which arise from the outer surface of the cyton. Around the cyton, many short, numerous, branched processes arise. They are called dendrites. They are called dendrites. Okay? Dendrites are numerous and short, branched processes arises from the cyton. Arises from the cyton. Okay? Next, in the dendrites, lipofuscin, neurofibrils, and Nissel's bodies are present. Lipofuscin, neurofibrils, and Nissel's bodies also present in dendrites. Next, these dendrites are also called efferent process. Dendrites otherwise called efferent processes because they carry impulses or information towards the cyton. They carry information or impulses towards the cyton. Hence, they are also called efferent processes. Efferent process. Dendrites otherwise called efferent processes because they carry impulses towards the cyton. Hence, they are called efferent process. Once again, I will repeat dendrites. Dendrites are numerous, short, branched processes which arises from the cyton. These dendrites also consist of Nissel's body, lipofuscin, and neurofibrils. Okay. Next, these dendrites otherwise called efferent process because they carry impulses towards the cyton, hence called efferent process. Next, we will discuss about the axon. Here, from the cyton, a axon arises. A single, long, unbranched process. A single, long, unbranched process which arises from the cyton is called axon. This is axon. A single, long process which arises from the cyton is called axon. Next, what is axon hillock? The region of the cyton, from which axon arises. The region of the cyton. This is the region of the cyton from which axon arises is called axon hillock. What is axon hillock? The region of the cyton from which axon originates is called axon hillock. Next, the plasma lemma of the axon is called axolemma. And cytoplasm of the axon is called axoplasm. Here, what is axon? It is long, unbranched process arises from the cyton is called axon. The region of the cyton from which axon arises is called axon hillock. Axon hillock. Okay. The distal part of the axon. This is the distal part of the axon. Means ends of the axon forms many branches. The distal part of the axon divide into many branches. They are called axon terminals. They are also called telodendroids. Axon terminals otherwise called telodendrites. What are axon terminals? The distal part of the axon. Divide into many branches. They are called axon terminals. Okay, these axon terminals consist of knob-like or button-like structures. They are called synaptic knobs. They are called synaptic knobs. What are synaptic knobs? Button-like or bulb-like structures present at the tip of axon terminals are called synaptic knobs or synaptic buttons. Synaptic knobs or synaptic buttons. Inside the synaptic knobs or synaptic buttons, a sac-like structure is present, a vesicle is present. It is called synaptic vesicle. It is called synaptic vesicle. Inside the synaptic knob, a vesicular structure is present. It is called synaptic vesicle. Synaptic vesicle, which consists of a chemical which acts as neurotransmitter. It is nothing but acetylcholine, which is useful for transmission of impulse from one neuron to the another neuron. Once again, axon. What is axon? It is a long unbranched process arises from the cyton. What is axon hillock? The region of the cyton from which axon arises is called axon hillock. Okay. Next, the terminal part or distal part of the axon divide into many branches. They are called axon terminals. Okay. These axon terminals consists of knob-like or button-like structures called synaptic knobs. Okay, inside these synaptic knobs, a vesicle is present. This is called synaptic vesicle, which consists of a chemical called acetylcholine, which acts as neurotransmitter. What is this? This is axon. Okay. The plasma lemma of the axon is called axolemma. The cytoplasm of the axon is called axoplasm. Plasma lemma of the axon is called axolemma. What is axon? It is a single long unbranched fiber or process arise from the cyton is called axon. A single, long, unbranched process arises from the cyton is called axon. Plasma lemma of the axon is called axolemma, and the cytoplasm of the axon is called axoplasm. What is axon hillock? The region of the cyton from which axon arises is called axon hillock. Okay. Next, that distal part of the axon. Here, distal part of the axon is called axon terminals. This is the diagram of multipolar neuron. Okay. Here, this is the axon, which is a single long unbranched process. Okay. The distal part of the axon divides into many branches. They are called axon terminals. These axon terminals consist of a knob-like or button-like structures called synaptic knobs or synaptic buttons. Inside these synaptic knobs, this is the diagram of one axon terminal. This is one axon terminal. This axon terminal consists of a knob-like structure. No, this is called synaptic knob or synaptic button. Inside this synaptic knob, a vesicle is present. In this vesicle, a neurotransmitter acetylcholine is present, which is a chemical. This is a sac-like structure present inside the synaptic knob. It is also called synaptic vesicle, which consists of a chemical called acetylcholine, which acts as neurotransmitter. Okay. This is the diagram of single axon terminal. This axon terminal consists of a button-like or knob-like structure called synaptic knob. Inside this synaptic knob, a vesicle is present. It is called synaptic vesicle, which consists of a chemical called acetylcholine, which acts as neurotransmitter. Okay. This is about the structure of multipolar neuron. Structure of multipolar neuron. Very, very important for 4 marks IP question for first year zoology. Which chapter? Structural organization in animals. Okay. Next we will discuss the types of neurons. Types of neurons based on number of processes. Types of neurons based on number of processes. Okay. Here pseudo-unipolar neuron is important VSAQ. What are pseudo-unipolar neuron? It is one of the VSAQ. And examples. What is pseudo-unipolar neuron? Give example. This is one of the important VSAQ. Here types of neurons based on the number of processes. They are of 3 types. Based on the number of processes, these neurons are of 3 types. They are unipolar neurons, bipolar neurons, and multipolar neurons. We already discussed about the multipolar neuron. No? Multipolar neuron means the neuron which consists of cyton, a nerve cell body, many dendrites, and a single axon. A neuron which consists of a cyton, nerve cell body, and many dendrites, and a single long unbranched process called axon. This is called multipolar neuron. Multipolar neuron consists of cyton with many dendrites and single axon. Most of the neurons in our body come under which category? Multipolar neuron. Most of the neurons in our body are which type? Multipolar neurons. In multipolar neuron, cyton with many dendrites and single axon is present. Okay, next. Now we will discuss about the unipolar neuron. This unipolar neuron is one of the important VSAQ from this chapter. This unipolar neuron, otherwise called pseudo-unipolar neuron. Pseudo-unipolar neuron. Why? Because this unipolar neuron consists of a nerve cell body or cyton, and it consists of only one process. How many processes? From this cyton, single process arise. Single process arise. This single process divides. This is single process which arise from the cyton. This single process divides into 2 branches. This single process divides into 2 branches. In that, one branch acts as dendrite. Just acts as dendrite. It is not real dendrite. It acts as dendrite. And second process acts as axon. Just acts as axon. It is not a real axon. Hence, these neurons are called pseudo-unipolar neurons or false unipolar neuron. Here in unipolar neuron, cyton, from the cyton only single process arise. The single process divides into 2 branches. In that, one of the branch acts as dendroid and another branch acts as axon. Okay, this is called unipolar neuron or pseudo-unipolar neuron. It is present in the dorsal root ganglia of spinal cord. The cyton of this unipolar neuron is present in the dorsal root ganglion of spinal cord. This is the location of pseudo-unipolar neuron. It is very, very important for VSAQ. These types of neurons is important for 2 marks, and also important for NEET and EBSET. Okay, next, now we will discuss about the bipolar neuron. Okay, here bipolar neuron means here cyton consists of 2 processes. From the cyton, 2 processes arise. In that, one process is called dendroid and another process is called axon. Okay, from the cyton, how many processes arise? 2 processes. One is called dendroid and another is called axon. Hence, this neuron is called bipolar neuron. From the cyton, two processes arise. One is called dendrite, another is called axon. Hence, it is called bipolar neuron. What is the location of bipolar neuron in our body? Retina of the eye, olfactory epithelium, and sensory cells of the internal ear. Sensory cells of the internal ear, olfactory epithelium of the nasal chamber, and retina of the eye is made up of with bipolar neurons. Okay? This is about the types of neurons based on the number of processes. Unipolar, bipolar and multipolar neuron. This is important for NEET and MSET and also important for pseudo-unipolar neurons are important for BSAQ. Okay? Next, types of axons. Types of axons based on the presence or absence of myelin sheath. Types of axons. This is also important for NEET and EPSET. Here, types of axons based on presence or absence of myelin sheath. Presence or absence of myelin sheath. Okay? The axons which are covered by myelin sheath are called myelinated axons. What are myelinated axons? The axons which are covered by myelin sheath are called myelinated axons. Next, the axons which are not covered by myelin sheath are called unmyelinated axons. Unmyelinated axons. Myelinated axons means these axons are covered with myelin sheath. Unmyelinated axons, the myelin sheath is absent around the axon. Okay, these myelinated axons are present in the white matter of CNS, white matter of central nervous system and many peripheral nerves. Peripheral nerves means cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves means nerves originating from the brain. Spinal nerves means nerves originating from the spinal cord. Okay, these myelinated axons means these axons are covered with myelin sheath. Hence, they are called myelinated axons. And these myelinated axons are present in the white matter of central nervous system and many peripheral nerves also consist of myelinated axons. Next, we will discuss about the unmyelinated axons in which myelin sheath is absent. Axon is not covered by myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is absent, hence called unmyelinated axons. These unmyelinated axons are found in gray matter of central nervous system. Gray matter of central nervous system and postganglionic neurons. Postganglionic neurons of autonomous nervous system, self-governing nervous system. Postganglionic neurons means the neurons present after the ganglion. The neurons which are present after the ganglia are called postganglionic neurons. Here, postganglionic neurons of autonomous nervous system and gray matter of central nervous system consists of unmyelinated axons. Unmyelinated axon. Okay. Next, we will discuss types of neurons. Types of neuron. It is also important for NEET and MSET, not for IP. Here, types of neurons. Here, types of neurons are based on the functions. These neurons are classified into different types based on their functions. Okay? They are sensory neurons, motor neurons, interneurons. So, based on the function, neurons are of three types. What are those three types? Sensory neurons, motor neurons, and interneurons. Okay? First, about sensory neurons. This sensory neuron carries impulses from sense organs or receptors to the brain. They carry impulses from receptors or sense organs. They carry impulses or information from receptors to the brain or central nervous system. Hence, they are called sensory neurons. The neurons which carry impulses from receptor organs to the brain. Receptors means sense organs. They carry impulses from sense organs to the brain. Hence, they are called sensory neurons. And motor neurons, they carry impulses from, they carry motor impulses from brain to effector organs like glands and muscles. Effector organs like glands and muscles. Motor neurons, they carry orders or messages from brain to effector organs. Effector organs means glands and muscles. Okay, these are called motor neurons. Next, third type of neurons are interneurons, which connects sensory neurons and motor neurons. The neurons which connects sensory neurons with motor neurons are called interneurons. They are present in central nervous system. Central nervous system. Sensory neurons means which carry information from receptors to brain. They carry impulses from receptors or sense organs to the brain. Sensory neurons. Motor neuron, they passes orders from brain to the effector organs. Brain to the effector organs like muscles and glands. Interneurons, these neurons connects sensory neurons with motor neurons which are present in CNS. Okay. Next, about the now we will going to discuss about two VSAQs. Two VSAQs from this neuron topic. Okay. What is nucleus and what is ganglion? What is tract and what are nerves? Differences between nucleus and ganglion and differences between tracts and nerves. This is important VSAQ. This is important VSAQ. It is important for NEET, EPSET and also for 2 marks question for IP. Here, what is nucleus? Group of cyton or group of nerve cell bodies in the CNS. Group of nerve cell bodies or group of cytons in the CNS are called nucleus. Next, group of cyton or nerve cell bodies in PNS, peripheral nervous system, are called ganglion. What is the difference between the nucleus and ganglion? Nucleus is present in CNS and ganglion is present in PNS. What is nucleus? Group of cyton or group of nerve cell bodies present in CNS or central nervous system is called nucleus. Next, group of cytons present in PNS are called ganglion. Group of cytons present in PNS, peripheral nervous system, is called ganglion. Next, what is the difference between the tracts and nerves? Tracts and nerves. It is also very important VSAQ. Here, group of axons in CNS. Group of axons in CNS are called tracts. Next, group of axons in PNS. The group of axons in PNS is called nerves. What are tracts? Group of axons. Group of axons in central nervous system are called tracts. Next, group of axons in peripheral nervous system are called nerves. This is the difference between the nucleus and ganglion and tracts and nerves. Okay? Is it clear? Now we will discuss about the neuroglial cells. Now we will discuss about the neuroglial cells. It is one of the 4 marks question. 4 marks IPE question. And it is also important for NEET and EPSET. NEET and EPSET. One of the 4 marks question. Write short notes on neuroglial cells. What are neuroglial cells? These are the second type of cells present in nervous tissue. Present in nervous tissue. Okay, neuroglial cells are supporting cells of the nervous tissue, and these neuroglial cells are non-conducting cells. conducting cells, these are the supporting cells, and these neuroglial cells provide microenvironment for neuronal activity. They provide microenvironment for neuronal activity. These are the supporting cells of the nervous tissue, non-impulse conducting cells, and they nourishes the neurons, and they are useful for protection of the neurons. Okay, what are the different types of neuroglial cells in the CNS, central nervous system? Consists of four types of neuroglial cells. They are oligodendrocytes, astrocytes, impendymal cells, and microglial cells. What are the four types of neuroglial cells of the central nervous system? Oligodendrocytes, astrocytes, impendymal cells, and microglia. Next, what are the neuroglial cells present in peripheral nervous system? Schwann cells and satellite cells. Schwann cells and satellite cells. What are the neuroglial cells of the PNS? Schwann cells and satellite cells. First, we will discuss about the neuroglial cells of the CNS. First is oligodendrocytes. They forms myelin sheath around the axon. Oligodendrocytes forms myelin sheath around the axon in CNS, that is central nervous system. Next type of cells are astrocytes. Astrocyte, ester means star. These are the star-shaped cells. Star-shaped neuroglial cells are called astrocytes. Okay, they act as interconnecting network. They acts as interconnecting network. They binds blood capillaries with neurons. They binds neurons with blood capillaries. They binds neurons with blood capillaries. They acts as interconnected network. And these astrocytes acts as blood-brain barriers. Blood-brain barriers. Okay? Blood-brain barriers. They prevents the entry of harmful germs and bacteria into the brain. Here they acts as interconnected network, and these are also called star-shaped cells, nothing but astrocytes, and they acts as blood-brain barriers. Blood-brain barriers. Next type of cells are called impendymal cells. Impendymal cells are nothing but ciliated columnar epithelial cells. Ciliated columnar epithelial cells. These are the ciliated columnar epithelial cells. The free surfaces of the cells consists of cilia. These are the cilia. These are columnar cells with basal nucleus. Columnar cells with basal nucleus. This is basement membrane. Here impendymal cells are nothing but ciliated columnar epithelial cells. Here cells lies on basement membrane. So what is the shape of the cell? Column-like or pillar-like with basal nucleus. The free surfaces of these cells consists of cilia. These ciliated columnar epithelial cells are nothing but impendymal cells. These impendymal cells or ciliated columnar cells are located in cavities of the brain and spinal cord. Cavities of the brain and spinal cord. Here, this by the action of the cilia of the impendymal cells, what happens? Cerebrospinal fluid moves from brain to spinal cord and from spinal cord to the brain. Okay? For the movement of cerebrospinal fluid, from brain to spinal cord to the brain, they play important role. Okay, these impendymal cells play important role in movement of cerebrospinal fluid from brain to the spinal cord and from spinal cord to the brain. What are impendymal cells? They are nothing but ciliated columnar epithelial cells. Okay, CSF means cerebrospinal fluid. They lines the brain cavities of the brain and spinal cord. Okay, next about microglial cells. These are small sized neuroglial cells. Small sized neuroglial cells which present in CNS, that is central nervous system, microglial cells. These microglial cells are mesodermal in origin. This is one of the important point. Remember this. But entire nervous tissue is derived from the ectoderm, but the neuroglial cells, for example, microglial cells of the CNS originate from the mesoderm. This is the exceptional case. Total nervous tissue is derived from ectoderm, but microglial cells of the CNS derived from mesoderm. Okay, these neuroglial cells, actually neuroglial cells divide throughout the life, but neurons do not divide throughout the life, because in neurons centrioles are absent. So neurons do not divide in adult stages, but neuroglial cells divide throughout the life because of the presence of centrioles. Because of the presence of centrioles in the neuroglial cells, they divide throughout the life. Okay, these microglial cells, small sized neuroglial cells present in central nervous system, they are mesodermal in origin. They act as phagocytes. And these microglial cells are the parts of mononuclear phagocytic system. These microglial cells are the parts of mononuclear phagocytic system. Whenever any injury or infection takes place, these microglial cells performs phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means they engulf harmful bacteria and germs. So these microglial cells are phagocytic in function. Okay, this is about the neuroglials, 4 types of neuroglial cells of the central nervous system. Neuroglial cells is important for 4 marks question also. Next about the neuroglial cells of the PNS. PNS means peripheral nervous system. These are 2 types, Schwann cells. They forms the neurilemma. Around the axon. Next, satellite cells, they surrounds the group of cell bodies in ganglion. They surrounds the group of cell bodies in ganglion. Which cells? Satellite cells. Schwann cells, they forms neurilemma around the axon. Satellite cells surrounds the group of cell bodies in ganglion. Okay, this is about the neuroglial cells. Next, transverse section of nerve. Here, nerve is made up of with many individual nerve cells. These are individual nerve cells. Okay, each individual nerve cell is covered by a connective tissue sheath. It is called endoneurium. This nerve is made up of with many nerve cells or many nerve fibers. These nerve cells or nerve fibers are covered by a connective tissue sheath called endoneurium. Okay, endoneurium. Next, a group of nerve cells are called fascicle. What is fascicle? A group of nerve fibers or group of nerve cells are called fascicle. Okay, each fascicle is also covered by a connective tissue sheath called perineurium. These fascicles means group of nerve fibers are called fascicles. This is one fascicle, this is another, and this is another fascicle. Okay, these fascicles are covered by a connective tissue sheath called perineurium. Next, many fascicles together form a nerve. How nerve is formed? Many fascicles group of fascicles together form a nerve. This nerve is surrounded by, around the nerve, a connective tissue sheath is present. It is called epineurium. It is called epineurium. This is about the transverse section of nerve. This is only for NEET and MSET, not for IPE. Once again, these nerve fibers are surrounded by a connective tissue sheath called endoneurium. Here inside the groups of nerves fibers, together form fascicle. Each fascicle is covered by a connective tissue layer called perineurium. Next, all the fascicles, groups of fascicles together form a nerve. This nerve is covered by a connective tissue sheath called epineurium. This is about the transverse section of nerve. It is only for NEET and MSET. It is not important for IPE. Next, we will discuss about the Schwann cell. Schwann cell, it is also only for NEET and MSET, not for IPE. What is Schwann cell? Here, this Schwann cell surrounds the axon. Schwann cell surrounds the axon. Here, plasma lemma of Schwann cell. Plasma lemma means protective covering of the Schwann cell. Wrap around the axon. The plasma lemma of the Schwann cells wrap around axon. Means this plasma lemma of Schwann cells consists of multi-layers. In that, outermost layer acts as neurilemma. Outermost layer of the plasma lemma of Schwann cell is called neurilemma. Next, inner walls or inner layers of the plasma lemma of Schwann cell is called myelin sheath. Means axon is covered with two types of sheaths, outer neurilemma and inner myelin sheath. Inner walls of the plasma lemma of Schwann cell forms myelin sheath, which is made up of with lipids. Once again, I am repeating. Here, Schwann cell surrounds the axon. In PNS. Okay. Next, this Schwann cell, plasma lemma of Schwann cell wrap around the axon. అంటే ఈ ప్లాస్మా లెమ్మా ఆఫ్ Schwann cell లో చాలా లేయర్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఈ లేయర్స్లో లోపలి లేయర్స్ నుంచి ఏం ఫామ్ అవుతుంది? మయలిన్ షీత్ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. బయట ఉన్న లేయర్ నుంచి ఏం ఫామ్ అవుతుంది? న్యూరిలెమ్మా. outer layer is called neurilemma and inner walls of the plasma lemma of Schwann cell is called myelin sheath, which is made up of with lipids. Means axon is covered with two layers. Axon is covered with how many layers? Two layers. Outer neurilemma and inner myelin sheath. This is about the formation of neurilemma and myelin sheath around the axon. This is only for NEET and MSET. Okay? With that, today's lesson is completed. We already discussed about the multipolar neuron structure and different types of neurons and neuroglial cells. In next class, we will discuss Haversian system. It is also one of the important 4 marks question from structural organization. Okay? Thank you very much, students.